crown jewel of any formation, the moneymakers, machine gun goal scorers, you guessed it right. It's time to talk about our forwards. Hey guys, it's Uncle Mish and we are starting a new season, so first of all I wanna wish you lots of luck. In this final video of the position rankings, I'm gonna talk about the forwards, the most important position to generate attack ratings. You could use up to 3 forwards in your game and they would be influenced by overcrowning, but it's not that big of an issue because if you need to generate attack ratings, you have no other real way. So a few changes have been made to the forwards and the defensive forwards, I'll mention them, and a new position, the target striker, target forward, that's the normal powerful forward, and I'll mention him as well. Let's start with the skills. The forwards will use 4 skills, scoring being the primary one with 3 secondaries, playmaking, wing and passing. The orientation of the forward will decide which one of the secondaries will be more important for him. Speaking about the orientation, we'll have 3 plus a bonus 1. The 3 orientations is the normal forward, the defensive forward, forward towards the wing, and also a target player or a power forward. That's the normal forward with a powerful speciality. Let's start with the normal forward. Scoring is the primary skill, with passing being the secondary, wing and playmaking are the minor secondaries. Changes being made to these positions a few seasons ago made that the playmaking on the normal forward will contribute to your midfield rating, which is great. And still, I think this position is underrated and people not making enough use of it, and even you could find a lot of great players for a catch prices on the transfer market. For an S-tier player, I'll consider 18 scoring, 15 passing with nice secondaries on the wing and playmaking. This beast has 12 on playmaking and wing, which makes him even an S+ player, but if he'll had 11-11 or even 10-10, I would still consider him as an S-tier player. The price for this kind of player, for the S-tier, I would say 12-13 million euros, but sometimes you could find catches for much less. For an A-tier player, 17 scoring, 14-15 passing and slightly lesser minor secondaries, 9-11, that makes it about right, and the price for an A-tier player would be 8-9 million euros, and again sometimes you could even find for much less. The B-tier player will have 16 scoring, passing will be around 12, 13, something around this, and maybe he'll have only one of the minor secondaries, either wing or playmaking. The prices would be below 5 million euros. So again, make use of this great position. The defensive forwards could have a video of their own. I'll try to focus on the most important parts, and I will separate this section into 2 parts, the defensive forwards and the technical defensive forwards. So for the defensive forward, scoring will be the most important skill. Playmaking is very important as well as passing, but don't neglect wing. For an S-tier player, I would say 17 scoring, that's awesome, 15 playmaking, 15 passing, that's an S+ player, so he has 16 passing and 7 wing, which is wonderful. This one doesn't have transfer compare, but he's so unique that I would definitely rate him at around 30 million euros. Right now the offer is just above 8 million euros, but I think he'll get there. So for an A-tier player, 16 scoring, 14-15 playmaking, 14 passing. This one doesn't have wing. I would love to have a little bit more wing for an A-tier player, but still I think the price for this kind of player will be about 7 million euros, and that's it. And for an A-tier player, well, B-tier player, probably a triple 15 with no wing at all, and the price will be ridiculously low. I would think 5-6 million euros tops, even less, will buy you a B-tier player. And for the technical defensive players, and maybe you could say rip on them because man marking just killed them all together. the main skill for them will be passing, because if this kind of player being man marked, you really have to have one very high skill on them, and passing will be probably it, because passing for the technical defensive forwards give you a bonus attack rating for the side attacks. So that's my player. He's not on the transfer market. I have 17 passing on him, 15 scoring and 15 and a half playmaking. I would think he's an S tier player, maybe A plus, something like this. And his transfer compare is ridiculously low for a 30-year-old player, only 8 million euros. So yeah, the prices for those kind of players aren't that high right now. So let's say for an A-tier player, I think maybe you could drop a little bit of playmaking on him, and for a B-tier player, he'll be probably only 16 passing, or even a triple 15 as we saw before, and that's for the technical defensive forward. If you're building a new team right now for the future, probably don't use a technical defensive forward. Forward towards the wing is a very unique position. You don't see a lot of managers in Hattrick using this one, and you are compromising on some center attack and midfield rating, but you will gain massive side attack. So the most important things for the forward toward the wing will be scoring and wing, with passing being secondary, and playmaking probably you don't need it really on forward towards the wing. So for the S tier player, I would say double 17 scoring and wing. Haven't found anyone on the transfer market that close. Maybe 16 wing, 17 scoring could be okay as well. The prices would be around 9 million euros for an S tier player. For an A tier player, I would say double 16 with some passing, and the prices would be around 7 million euros. And for a B tier player, double 15 scoring and wing, the prices would be under 5 million euro. So you will compromise on center attack and some midfield, but if you are playing against a very strong defensive team with very strong center defense and you will not be able to break it and you want to play towards the wing, that's a possibility. Use the forward towards the wing with some inner midfielders towards the wing and offensive wingers, and yeah, you will generate huge amounts of wing attack. A special position will be the power forward. That's basically a normal forward with a powerful specialty that have a special event that could trigger another attack for you after you miss a normal chance. If you miss a normal chance, one power forward will get you 10% to trigger this event. 2 of them will give you 16 and 3 of them will give you 20 after each miss. So if you get this event triggered, the playmaking on the power forward will decide if you'll actually get the chance, and the scoring on the power forward will decide if he'll score it. That's a relatively new position, so there are not a lot of power forwards on the market and they are pretty expensive. An S tier player will be 17 scoring, 16 playmaking with nice passing, maybe 14. An A tier player, maybe something around those lines, 16 scoring, 15, 16 playmaking and nice passing. And a B tier player will be maybe double 15 playmaking and scoring. So the prices for the S tier player will be around 13-14 million euros, the prices for the A tier player will be around 10-11 million euros, and the prices for the B tier player will be below 8 million euros. And not that long shot teams need any help, but just imagine them using a power forward. He will contribute to their midfield. He'll have scoring and set pieces just to score the events, and long shot teams will miss all of their normal chances, so he will get this event triggered and could score another goal against you. That would be really problematic. Specialties for the forwards. So unpredictables are insanely good right now, and obviously that's an awesome specialty for any forward, a normal one or a defensive one. Quick speciality is really good for forwards as well, because they will convert a lot of special events and will score them, and had specialty that's generally okay even for forwards. The powerful specialty, use it only for your power forwards, and probably don't use any technical forwards, but if you must, use him as a technical defensive forward with a lot of passing. Let's make a summary. So the forwards is the position with the widest range of possibilities there is. They will still use 4 skills: scoring, wing, passing and playmaking, and you'll have a few variations of the forward. The normal one, forward towards the wing, the defensive forward and the power forward. Each one of them needs a different set of skills. As for specialties, unpredictable and quicks are the best ones. Head is a good specialty, and use the powerful as the power forwards, but stay away of the technical forwards. The normal forward is still an underrated position, and you could find great catches on the transfer market. And also don't forget that normal forwards still contribute to your midfield rating, so if you need a little bit more attack, use your defensive forwards as normal. You'll still get contribution to the midfield and you'll get more attack rating. Hope you enjoyed this video and all the series about the position rankings. I would love to hear your opinion about the forwards. Do you use other kind of forwards or different skill sets or specialities? And especially, do you think technical defensive forwards are dead or they will make a comeback? So comment in the section below. As always, just remember, Hattrick is more than a game, it's a community, and I'll definitely see you in my next videos.